YouTube, it's channel Anna Bella here today, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Suicide Squad the novel and Suicide Squad behind the scenes with the worst heroes ever. I'm going to start with the novel. It's a paperback novel and it's quite short. And the novel is very like what David Ayer, the director, would have wanted Suicide Squad to be. It is, because I know some people like to know the page numbers, it is 375 pages long, and it does have some slight changes and alterations to the story. It's split into 3 parts. Part 1 is called The Search. Part 2, if I can find it, I think it's called The War. And part 3 is The Gods, and part 2, and I think I'm right, is The War. Yeah, we'll just say that it is. It does have some slight differences. It starts off with June. So it starts off with June finding the bottle with Enchantress in. There are some alterations to the story. They don't include the deleted scene of Harley chasing the Joker on the motorbike after electroshock therapy from him. But what they do have is Johnny Frost trying to find her. She's here somewhere, fan out, and don't forget, Frost, the boss, wants her breathing. And it also explains his nickname of Pudding. And then it's quite interesting what Frost says. "Good looking lady, boss," his aide-de-camp said. "She really likes you." Joker slipped on his newly pressed shirt, buttoned it, and then checked himself out in the med unit mirror. "It would have never worked," Joker replied. "She kept trying to fix me." Frost took his Glock and screwed it into Quinzel's ear. Who said you were broken?" Joker slipped on his diamond-shaped J pinky ring, and he smiled. Not an ordinary smile, not a smile to make someone laugh with him. No, this was the smile. The corners of his mouth slid up his face into a vast, deadly rictus, metal teeth flashing. This was a hyena's smile. And they walked away, taking with them the inert form of Dr. Harleen Quinzel, leaving the warden alone and lost, whimpering on his office floor. So they carry her off in this version. What is interesting, sorry to bore you, but yeah, there are loads and loads of changes to what we saw. There's a bit of explaining about why Deadshot missed, and it was to do with the wind. But what is interesting, and I am going to actually tell you this, is people have been complaining about the fact that he leaves her in the car. They are having a row in the car in the book, and this is quite interesting. Because it's the fallout of him killing Monster T. "Don't touch me," he growled. "This is on you. You know that guy made me a lot of money. We're leaving. Puddin', it's not my fault. I make myself look so good for you that other guys can only wish and stare because they're jealous. I mean, you should think of it as them honouring your great taste in babes. And I'm your babe, aren't I, honey?" And then it goes, Joker grabbed her by the arm and Harley squealed as he dragged her from the club. "Yeah, but you keep pushing me. And one of these days you're going to cross the line, Harley. Then what?" she said. Joker laughed. "I don't know. We draw ourselves a new line and another and probably cross them all too." And that is very, very interesting. because they're always going to cross those lines. And here, this is what they're arguing about in the car. And he says, "Forget flatlining," he said. "Buckle up, Harley." Harley laughed, removing her seatbelt, and let the two halves retract into their holders. "Hope you got insurance." The Joker gave her a dirty look as he again slammed the gas pedal. "Now's not the time, dear." See, if she'd have kept her seatbelt on, she wouldn't have gone through the glass window. She was told to keep her seatbelt on. She did the exact opposite of what she was told. Now that is very interesting. Very interesting. So that's the novel. It is good. There are some clearly alterations. Should have kept a seatbelt on. If she'd have kept a seatbelt on, he could have rescued her out of the car. But because she went through the windscreen, he couldn't get her out without losing time and saving himself. So that is that. Okay, so that's the novel. There you go. That's the back. This is a really, really cool book. It includes tattoos, posters, postcards and other removable items. Feels good to be bad. I'm going to open it up. Let's have a look. That's just something that I did. I added up all their sentences and saw how many missions they need to go on. So this is loads and loads of concept art. What was great about Suicide Squad was the art and the colour and the design. So originally he was going to have a scar going up and then they decided to get rid of it for the Joker. So this is the contents. There. I'm not going to show you all of it. So you get postcards throughout and there's Dr. Holly and Quinzel Pass there for when cartoon becomes reality. Got all sorts of things. This is a particularly interesting scene because it played out very differently in the film. He had everything, Joker had all of his equipment nicely ordered, but in the concept art he doesn't. Look, there's blood everywhere, everything's smashed up, so it shows him at his lowest point ever. His piano is completely broken, so he's just at a loss without her. He needs to get her back. Because if Johnny Frost hadn't have told him that he'd found her, Joker would have committed suicide then and there because he'd lost everything. Because remember, he's a guy that's lost his family, he's lost his wife, lost his unborn kid, now he's lost his new girlfriend that he purposely turned into a clown so that she would be able to withstand being with him. And it's his fault because he left her behind in the car, though it technically is her fault because he did tell her to keep a seatbelt on and she took it off. So there's the Joker's gang, there's Panda Man. I don't know why I'm showing it that way. Cast and crew farewell. It does come with tattoos. So in there we've got the Joker and Harley and Diablo's tattoos. Which is quite cool. Has in-depth sections on each of the characters. Which is really, really kind of cool. The big problem with Suicide Squad was there was too many cooks. Too many crooks spoiled the broth in this case. Very much so. Harley Quinn there. Deadshot. These letters from Zoe Lawton are absolutely heartbreaking. They got Deadshot so right. Argus. These are pretty cool. So there's Slipknot's file. Captain Boomerang, I really like Captain Boomerang. His main enemy is the Flash. Diablo, I love Diablo. I thought he was done really well. Killer Croc, he's actually a friend of the Joker's. Harley Quinn. Thought she was played really well by Margot Robbie, I have to say. Deadshot, yep. That's them. Amanda Waller, she was really well played. And then there's Enchantress somewhere. So that's the problem when you introduce magic into superhero lands. It doesn't kind of work sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very quick look. Oh, and here we are. I felt Rick Flag's character was a good man, but he was also a bit gaunt and a bit weak as well. There you go. felt the editing was a bit shoddy, but then there you go. I felt that they had loads of good ideas, but it was put together in 6 weeks. Well, that was the script, and it was really sort of like, let's blend them all together and see what we get, and it kind of came out sort of not fully formed, but also they went kind of retro with it. They went 1980s with all the stunts actually being people, and this CGI that they used was character based. So like Enchantress would use CGI, El Diablo would use CGI. I thought that there could have been more explanation regarding June and Enchantress. That could have been explored more. But it was sort of like sacrificing stuff. So there's Argos. It's a committee for the detection, identification, surveillance, research and exploitation of meta-human entities. So that's in the cave. And then these guys, I felt that they perhaps could have shown like Enchantress seeing through their eyes a bit more, because they just looked like blobs with eyeballs on. They could have been better constructed, I think. Or maybe in a different colour. Maybe not grey. There's the machine. But that kind of reminds me of the Matrix. Incubus was alright. It just was a bit sort of like, I understand it. I fully see why Enchantress would stab Amanda Waller in the back. I get that completely. Somebody had to. So there's their tattoos. So you've got Jokers. Then you've got all of Harley's there. Then you've got Diablo's. And he's actually written on him Familia. So the idea of family is very important to him. Joke's on you. So it's Joker. He's got a Joker card here. See if we can get it out. She says as she struggles. There you go. So that's the new Joker card. And it's a guy with no eyes, which I think is pretty cool. He's got fire in one hand and then like a mallet there. Even though we didn't get to see it in the movie. It's original concept art and stuff. Johnny Frost. I really like the fact that they gave Johnny Frost the suit. And the Joker was more of a boxer Joker. Bravo to the whole squad. Yeah, they really enjoyed making it, and you can tell. It's just a shame that too many big characters, not enough work on plot, I think. And they should have just had one editor and one theme throughout. And maybe they should have actually allowed all the characters to actually communicate with each other. Because, I mean, I get the feeling of uncomfortableness, I really do. Because it is supposed to be an uncomfortable movie, and if it's making you feel uncomfortable, then it should be uncomfortable, because we're dealing with criminals that are being forced to do something with bombs in the neck. So please like, comment and subscribe. I've also done my overall Suicide Squad movie review, but I thought I'd show you these books first. So